So I spoke with one of my old students, someone called Andrew Harter, and he has a little bit of experience with, electronic music production. And he said, look, if you want to do that, let's just kind of join forces and work with that, right? Because I don't know anything about working with this electronic music software and stuff like that. All I know is kind of play a little bit of piano, kind of add some synths here and there. I know keys. That's kind of how I know, and I know kind of a little bit of music, theory and music stuff, but I don't know how to operate this software. So yeah, he did the whole hardcore part of having like a drum sequence, a drum loop. So we went with the whole drum and bass Django approach. I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm just going to show to you what we did. This blue part right here, it was something that Andrew sent to me, which is this kind of background drum loop. So let me just mute everything else. And I just want to hear the loop, right? So if we have right here, classic drum and bass, very drum and bass Django bass loop. You see, the BPM, right, is super fast. It kind of helps us with the whole idea of having something high pace, which is very classic from the gaming area. You need something fast. You need something that brings that excitement into the player. So this very high BPM of drum and bass Django music, that is why it was so popular right back in the day. So again, like I said, just a loop with some synth in the back and drums. So I got this thing and I was like really thinking what to do with that. And let me just write down this one. So I'm going to bring the volume down. And what I did is I started to add some kind of electronic piano, right? This kind of Rhodes piano sound, this electronic piano. And I really like this sound. It's something that I always love, the sound of electronic piano. So let me just look at something. As we have right here, right? And then I start adding like chords on top. See? Kind of my jazz background chords and always this very liquid, atmospheric idea in the back. And I went very minimal, right? So we have a drum loop in the back, synthesizers, and now we have some Rhodes chords on top, right? And also what I decided to do, I'm just showing to you exactly what I did before, right? So I also have a little bit more effects on top. I have this Stratosphere synthesizer here on top. And what I wanted to show also, drum and bass, right? We have to also focus not just the drums, but also the bass. So I went there, I selected a couple of different types of bass sounds. So I got this muted bass here as well. And I went to the keyboard, right? Using MIDI, I just recorded bass as well. So the way that this thing sounds, let me just play so you can see kind of the whole thing together, right? Like everything that the pianos, the synth that we have, and also the bass as it enters. There you go. There you go, bass, right? Super important. Rhodes on top. I like that. So the whole point, as you can see, is basically use this as a track, right? This is an actual track. See, it's long. This is not just a simple sound effect. This is actually a long track that we're gonna have to just go and ask to play. As we start our race, I'm gonna start playing this thing so we can have these different effects there. So that's it. I just wanted to show to you what I did. I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm going to go and export this thing as a WAV file, MP3 or WAV. I'm going to select. It really doesn't matter, right? The compression is not going to hurt too much the quality of the sound. But I'm going to try to use maybe a WAV file using PCM. Remember when we spoke about PCM? This WAV file format is going to be uncompressed, everything as raw as it gets. And then we can pick that WAV file with this final track that we are going to generate and ask to add that track into our final CD, right? So we're going to have this Redbook audio track in the CD. The first track, as I mentioned, the first track is going to be the data with the game and the textures and the assets, right? So the actual data of the game is going to be in the first track. It's not going to be playable in a CD player. But then the second, the third, the fourth tracks, then we can kind of go and store those things, right? These audio tracks as proper audio Redbook tracks. All right, so that's what I wanted to show to you, just us kind of creating from scratch also the music for our little toy project that we have, right? This kind of fake Wipeout game that we have. So I'm gonna go, as we start the game, I'm going to show you now how to encode everything, generate the CD, and most importantly, let's learn via code how to go and invoke and ask to play a track real time as we are playing our game. That's the goal.